Welcome to Indigenous Media Network News Bulletin. Today, the 10th of September 2021. First, the headlines. Tigrans fearful amid New Year celebration. International community accused of failure to hold authorities accountable over abuses. Accusation of crimes against humanity denied. Senior government official fired in South Sudan. A former chief of staff in South Sudan called for emergence meeting. News in details. Ethiopia. Ethiopian New Year, not like others before, said Tesfaye Hagos, a Tigran, who feared of indiscriminate attacks, in a country in its 11 months of civil conflict. In the recent months, rights groups and international media has been stepping up against Abiy Ahmed, Ethiopia Prime Minister, government for human rights abuses against Tigray minority. Amnesty International has documented and published reports on indiscriminate arrests and targeting of Tigray minority in a country of more than 84 ethnic groups. 7 years behind, the New Year calendar that begins from tomorrow is often joyful with many families enjoying the company of their loved ones. But this is now different to many Tigrans who feared of arbitrary arrest, Tesfaye Hagos told AFP. This, coupled with high inflation rate of 30%, make families not to think about of the importance of the New Year celebration, he further said to AFP. The international community has been accused of failure to hold Ethiopian authorities involved in committing crimes that amount to genocide and ethnic cleansing against Tigray minority. Abiy Ahmed, a senior official in charge of security during TPLF-dominated regime, rose to power in 2018 after the Ethiopian Prime Minister resigned. The CNN report that exposed Abiy Ahmed regime is the latest report that exposed the failure of the international community making Ethiopian authorities responsible for crime committed by authorities in Ethiopia. Abiy Ahmed, a former winner of Nobel Peace Prize, has been battling the TPLF forces since November 2020. In a similar development, the TPLF forces are accused of committing atrocities against Amhara, which they categorically denied. The conflict, in its 11 months, has extended into Amhara and Afar, the two adjacent regions in the northern part of the country. Despite displacement and gross abuses from both sides, the government of Abiy Ahmed is mobilizing farmers and students to fight a civil war in the north. South Sudan. The president of South Sudan Republic, Salva Kiir, on Thursday, fired a top civil servant in charge of foreign affairs. Beatrice Kamiza-Wani, a former ambassador to DRC and Germany, was relieved from her duties on Thursday. Beatrice was replaced by Mike Deng, a former basketball player, who rose to the diplomatic career, had served in the office of the president at ministerial portfolio in 2016 and 2020 before his was appointed as the Minister of Foreign Affairs yesterday. Earlier this year, Deng was replaced with the loyal and long friend to the president, Barnaba Mariel Benjamin. The move to remove Beatrice came as surprise to many. A former chief of staff, General Simon Gatwech-Duel, who broke away from the main opposition, SPLM-IO led by Riek Machar, and formed a faction against his former boss, has called for emergence meeting, citing the lapses of the transitional arrangement that returned Machar to his vice president position. Machar, who led rebellion after deadly conflict broke out in 2013, is now the first vice president among 5 South Sudan's vice presidents. In 2019, a 36-month transitional arrangement was signed between President Salva Kiir and his opponent Riek Machar to form unity government. Nonetheless, the transitional government did not take place as planned due to disagreement between the parties. But the parties to the accord are now dragging their feet to extend the transitional arrangement to 2023 instead of 2022. The planned emergence meeting of the 15th of September 2021 of senior military personnel and politicians expected to deliberate on the end of transitional arrangement, that the faction claims end in just 3 days. Thank you for listening. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more news updates. Join us again for our next news bulletin.